Welcome to Hate to Wait, where two lifelong dieters talk about their current struggles with weight loss. Diets, we've tried them all. We are not doctors. We don't play them on TV. Join our journey because we're all in this together.
Hello, Emily.
Happy Halloween as we record, John.
I know. And happy beginning to the eating season.
Oh, it's the eating season?
Sure.
Oh.
Halloween starts the United States eating season. It's
That's
Halloween, then that's candy. You go through the candy, then what happens? People are sick of candy, so they bring candy into work. So you have that temptation. Then we roll into United States Thanksgiving, because now that I date a Canadian, I found out that there's actually two Thanksgivings.
So your eating season starts earlier now.
Well, yeah, actually, my eating season started a couple weeks ago. And then once you roll out of Thanksgiving, then the Christmas stuff starts with the Christmas candy and the Christmas cookies and then Christmas and all. And then after all that gluttony, then comes January 1st and we're like, all right, it's a brand new year. Lisa, I will get to you in a minute. There's a brand new year, and we have to start, that's when the gluttony season's over, and we decide that we're going to take all that weight off. Yep. So, happy Halloween. You, of course, you're in costume.
I'm in costume for our live viewers. Yeah, I always put together a last-minute Halloween costume, like the morning of. And this year, I was like, I just want to be comfortable. So I am in my bathrobe. I'm in my shirt that says water reminder on it. So if anybody's listening, drink your water. If anybody's watching, go drink your water. I have my eye mask that I got at She Podcast Live from Libsyn, actually. Shout out to our podcast host, Libsyn. I'm wearing your eye mask. Towel in my hair. And they're supposed to be under eye little...
makeup or no?
Like beauty patches, like
yes,
like the things that depuff your eyes, right? But I didn't have any, so this is actually a cut up panty liner.
Oh,
because I was like, I need something that'll stick to my face. Okay, let's do this.
That's genius.
So I have my little sign that says hashtag self-care next to me. Yeah, I am self-cared up. I could basically go on my Instagram right now and do nothing else. That's it.
Yeah, and last week, I have to apologize. I woke up. I tried to make it. I had woke up with a horrendous not hangover, but headache, and it felt like a hangover. I've had hangovers. It felt like that.
Yeah.
And here, what it was basically caffeine withdrawal, because I had stopped. Not even thinking. I'd stopped drinking coffee, and when Sam was here, I was drinking coffee every morning. And it just didn't work. So I called the doctor. They called in prescription, and I went to go there. And since I was already in the truck, I stopped and got a small cup of coffee because I couldn't even see straight. And I drank the coffee. And by the time I got to go to pick up the prescription, by the time I got to the drugstore, my headache was like half.
Huh.
I was like, oh, I can't believe it. It's because I was, there's no caffeine.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even thinking.
Caffeine is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, I got to tell you, even at the end of the day and into the next day, my head was sore. Like I had if I moved it quick, it was sore. So, I couldn't make this. A couple things you can't podcast through. One is a migraine headache. The second is diarrhea.
Yep.
Can't podcast through that.
Yeah.
So I missed it. But that's the thing, too, because this really does keep me accountable. And when you're off for 2 weeks, you can run amok.
Yeah. I also find myself spiraling into a terrible mood when we don't have a show because something's missing and I can't put my finger on what it is, but something's missing. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't record. I didn't have my weekly therapy session with John and our wonderful group.
I'm telling you, I'm so grumpy that right now I hate Canada. I was going to come on here and do a rant on Canada because they're like our little annoying brother. All right. They have their Halloween before us. Their Independence Day is before us. Yeah,
They have a
not
different
Halloween.
Halloween. Oh, okay.
Thanksgiving. Their Thanksgiving is before us. It's in October. It's on a Monday. Who has Thanksgiving on a Monday? Right? And then
What arbitrary day is Thursday for Thanksgiving, though?
it's the right day is exactly what it is. It's the right day. Because if you don't have Thanksgiving on Thursday, how can you have Black Friday? And Canada, how do you have Black Friday when you have nothing on Thursday? And I've been grumpy all week. And here in New Jersey, anyhow, we're supposed to have horrific rain and wind. And on social media, all I've seen is people fighting, well, we should postpone Halloween until tomorrow because the weather's going to be nicer. Then we hear the other people, you know what, if you don't come on Thursday, there won't be any candy for Friday. And I'm like, oh, my God, take your fun-sized Kit Kat and shove it up your ass. All right? You want these kids to, go out and fight the rain and everything for a fun-sized Kit Kat?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
We got that with Hurricane Sandy.
They
when
did?
we
postponed
canceled.
it.
Yeah, we postponed Halloween, and I remember people being so pissed and being like, looking outside, being like, "Really? You guys want this? Okay."
It's like, oh, if you can't. When I was a kid, we went out in the rain and the snow,
Uphill both ways.
both ways. So I've really, really been grumpy. And this morning I was thinking about today, and your mood affects your weight loss. Like when you're grumpy, I don't give a shit about anything. So this morning when I was sitting there, I was like, I really got to figure out how to get out of this horrible mood. Like I was arguing with Sam last night over nonsense. I get mad at podcasters when their sound quality's not good. I get mad at clients when they, I tell them something, they don't pay attention. And then when it happens, they come to me like, they don't, like, well, what happened? I didn't know that was going to happen. I don't know why. I told you several times. So through all this, there's one thing that kept going through my head.
Hello world, here's a song that we're singing. Come on, get happy.
Because it's time to come on and get happy. Yes, it's the eating season. Yes, we had 2 weeks off. Yes, we're a little grumpy. Yes, social media, if you're following the wrong people, can really make you unhappy because you see what they're saying and you're like, holy cow, what am I doing here?
I can't go on Twitter for longer than about 10 minutes before I have to just shut it off and be like, okay, that's it. That's my quota for the day. I can't anymore. Once I start to feel my heart beating a little faster and I start thinking of snide responses to tweets, I'm like, no, this is bad. This is a bad, at least for me. I mean, I have a lot of podcasts that I follow and those are fine. But sometimes on Twitter, no matter what you're ignoring, you can't escape all the news. And just the world, come on. What is up with the world lately? Like the 10 minutes I see of the world and my husband comes home from the newspaper and he talks about the news and the headlines, I'm like, that's it. This is my quota. I'm so glad I don't work in newspapers anymore because I couldn't take this for 8 hours a day anymore. I can't.
I mean, and now there's a thing, speaking of Twitter, now there's a hashtag that's called hashtag OKBoomer, which means that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a boomer.
I have a little bit of glee right now as like a borderline millennial being like, stop yelling at us for all the problems.
Yeah, so then I'm thinking about like, what I tweet out and stuff like that. And
Did you get an okay boomer at you?
Well, I saw
I
saw it on my timeline.
Oh.
I was just so upset with it, right?
Oh, no.
So this is what the guy tweets. I never knew how fast old people can move until I watched a bunch of boomers jump in to defend their personal honor after I point out that their generation is basically responsible for bringing out the end times. And I'm like, are you kidding? So I'm like, okay. Oh, so this is my response. Okay, dipshit. Boomers have done an amazing job to curb pollution. We owned guns and didn't shoot our classmates. We didn't live off our parents' tit until we were 30. We protected free speech and didn't get offended by the drop of a hat. And oh yeah, clapping didn't bother us. Hashtag okay, boomer.
Hello world, here's a song that we're singing. Come on, get happy.
Yeah, I've been in a bit of a mood for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's That's quite a very unlike you rant too. I usually feel like you're very calm and middle of the road a lot of times, but yeah, that was a rant, John.
Well, I'm trying to, so just to get back to the boomer thing a little bit, when I was like 13 or 14, the river, they used to pump raw sewage in it to the river.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd be out on a boat in the river and you'd see like a turd float by, a maxi pad float by, and you're like, ugh. Well, my generation stopped all that. In Pittsburgh in the 50s, you couldn't even see a quarter mile. The smog was so bad that people would get sick and die from the air quality. In California, the smog would be so bad you could see it hovering over Los Angeles.
Yeah, I remember all those.
Right.
Yeah.
The boomer generation changed all that. See, but what the boomer generation's at fault for is what we did was we raised a bunch of ungrateful, entitled brats that are now old, and now they're telling us about ourselves. So listen, Junior, just sit down, because we're not going to take no nonsense from you. Don't make us get up like your parents said. If I get out of this chair.
Basically, every generation has its own "we didn't start the fire." Like, dude, this has been going on forever. We didn't start the fire.
Exactly.
And now I guess the millennial and Generation Z's "we didn't start the fire" is hashtag okay boomer.
Okay, boomers. How dare you?
Oh.
And again, part of this is my fault. So like last night, that was Game 7 of the World Series. And one of the things about the World Series, Game 7 is amazing because it's just one game for any Game 7. In hockey, for the Stanley Cup, Game 7. It's all on a line. All season long comes down to this game. And it was against the Houston Astros and the Washington Nationals. Now, the Washington Nationals are in the same division as my Philadelphia Phillies. And they clap at us all the time. So my God, did I want to see them lose a Game 7 and watch their whole fan base go, ooh, I wanted that so bad. So Lisa, from I Shake My Head with Lisa and Sam, of course she wants the Nationals because she goes against me on everything. And here's the thing about Lisa. I can't win a bet against Lisa. I don't know what that's about. Like when we bet when the Phillies played her Toronto Blue Jays, her team sucked on ice all year long. Guess what team they swept? The Phillies. So then I had to sing a song on their podcast and wear the Blue Jays hat. Not that I'm wearing the Blue Jays hat because Sam bought it for me and brought it to me. So that's kind of nice. But it's just losing a bet. So last night, the Astros are up 2-0, and Lisa and Sam are out recording their podcast. Lisa gets home. She starts watching the World Series. Next thing you know, the Nationals take the lead, and they win the World Series. And I'm like, yeah. So then she taunts me on Facebook, and I'm like, I hate you. And I was like really mad. So then I'm thinking to myself, like I'm all upset. And then.
Hello world, here's a song that we're singing. Come on, get happy.
Yeah, so that should be the title of this episode. Come on, get happy.
Come on, get happy. Oh my goodness.
One of the things, because I want you to start telling us how getting into your week for the Winning Wednesdays, instead of a placard that you put up a picture of you in the belt that you bought when you started this.
Yeah. Yep.
And I can't believe how much weight you've lost. But not only that, how much, you reduced. I mean, that's got to be at least 18 inches. Did you measure what that is from the tip of the belt?
Yeah, for some reason I didn't. Usually with weight loss, I'm a big advocate for measure yourself. Make sure you're measuring yourself. And now this time with intermittent fasting, I think because it's been very steady lately. It's been such steady progress. I haven't had to measure to feel better. The scale moves. And then my clothes, like I'm constantly just putting on clothes and throwing it into a pile because 2 out of 3 items are now too big. And like, unfortunately too big. Not a cute baggy type, but like my husband's like, that doesn't look good on you, honey. I hate to tell you, but that doesn't look great.
Yeah, you should get a rope and it looks like a potato sack. You can't.
Yeah.
It's time for shopping, to be quite honest with you.
I know. And I was telling a friend last night how much I hate I actually hate clothing shopping. But okay, I'm going to try this when I'm officially a size 14. I'm still kind of in between 14 and 16 right now. When I'm officially a size 14, I'm going to take advantage of Macy's has a free personal shopper with no minimum to buy. Like you don't have to buy anything that they pick out for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you just go there and they have all the stuff in the changing room ready for you. You talk to them about your stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is free. We're not jumping on this. And it's like, I guess Macy's really wants the business. But
Sure, it's a great idea.
yeah.
Mhm.
And I was like, I think I'm going to do that. So I think I'm going to try out a person because I really hate shopping. It's like if I could wear a jeans and t-shirt every day of my life, I would be so happy. It would be
Right.
great. I wouldn't have to. If I had one of those cartoon character closets full of all the same clothes every day, I'd be great. That's my dream.
So there's like I said, the difference between men and women. And men, what we do is we wear a suit, so that way we don't have to pick out things. I mean, some guys, they go crazy with the suits and stuff like that. But most of the time we wear a suit. And a lot of times we'll, during work, we have a uniform. They'll give us a shirt to wear and a certain pair of pants to wear and all.
I love uniforms. I loved work jobs where I got to wear a uniform every day. That Carvel shirt, loved it. It was great.
Right. So, we don't really have to. So, again, I know you work at home. I know you have your own business. There's only a few times where you really have to get dressed to go out.
Conferences. I have to.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, conferences.
I have to shop for conferences and then shopping for weddings. I have 3 dresses in the same rotation. And I'm like, okay, who went to this wedding? Who saw me here? And then I'm thinking, who's going to remember? But now everybody takes pictures. Damn it.
Oh, the picture. I was just going to say, who is going to remember? And again, the thing, men versus women. Men will wear the
men
same
do wear the same suit.
to every wedding. No one says anything.
I know.
But you ladies, you put so much pressure on yourselves.
I know.
You guys should have a wedding suit, like a lady's wedding suit that would be slacks, a nice top, a nice jacket or something like that, and you wear it to a wedding or an outing or whatever, and then you can wear it again. Here's the thing, and this is the thing about ladies, about when you dress up for things. There's a certain style, color, flower pattern, whatever. It's unique. Suits aren't unique. You really can't tell one from another. You can't say, oh, look at him. He's in the same gray suit again.
I did start noticing a trend at conferences when I went to the National Speakers Association conference. People were very dressed up. I did notice a trend of the regular navy blue gray suit, but fun shoes or fun socks.
Socks?
Yes. Yeah. Because when they sit down, you know how men's pants go much higher than I think they should. And you see the socks because it always looks awkward. It's like, ugh. And I guess they're like honing in on that awkwardness and being like, okay, fun socks. Here we go. And it's always like the men you don't expect, this very tailored, well-suited man. And then all of a sudden, he sits down and his socks show candy corn all over it.
Yeah, ice cream cones.
Right? Yeah.
Dolphins. Yeah, stuff like that.
So that's a trend I'm starting to see with guys. So you guys want to fancy it up too. Don't lie.
Yeah.
And you have ties. I'm a little jealous of ties. Ties are a great accessory. You could change an entire outfit with a tie.
Ladies, you can have the ties because they are horrible. They choke you. They're right. Ugh. I can't stand ties. But then again, I have this big, massive neck, so maybe that's it. I don't know. But, again, first of all, I think it's wonderful that you have this problem. I really do.
I know. That's true. I'm not complaining at all that my clothes are getting too big and that I have to go shop. I mean, I hate shopping, but I'm not complaining. So I think I've been trying not to be a work-at-home yoga pants person as much as I would love to be. But some days it's that's the only thing that fits at this point. And the thing is, it's so annoying because when I was getting bigger, that's what I felt like. I was like, the only thing that fits are yoga pants. And I'm like, I won't have that problem when I lose weight. No, that's a lie. None of my jeans are fitting. They all have saggy butts and saggy knees now. Saggy knees. The other thing, I had to buy new yoga pants because of saggy knees. The dumbest thing in the world. And when you wear boots with them, you kind of look like a soldier, and not in a good way, but with the puffiness over your boots. That's what it looks like.
Oh my God, I got song parodyitis because of that. I'm thinking, I got saggy knees and I cannot lie. But here's the thing with you, and I see this, is you are on a roll. Everything now is a habit.
Yes, it's such a habit.
Right. Everything is a habit. You're not, there's no falling off the wagon. You are sitting in the middle of that wagon and you are moving forward. And there's nothing. Oh, someone says, try heels, John. You think ties suck. Try heels. Yeah. Again, ladies, you're doing it to yourself. For a couple of inches in height, you're going to break your ankles.
But your legs look really good.
Do they?
They do.
Really? Yeah.
They do, yeah. Oh, it makes the calves look amazing.
Calves, really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a leg man, so I don't really notice that. But okay. All right. I love the fact that you're doing this. And it's just, I'm not saying no effort, because I don't want to go saying that there's nothing, but you are firmly entrenched in this. And I noticed, the other day when last time we were on, and you were talking about going to that conference, and, everybody's eating around you and there's all this amazing food around you. And you're like, nope, sorry.
Yeah.
No eating till tomorrow. And I'm like, what?
You know what? And I didn't realize that it was really more about timing for me. As long as I can have the food, I don't care when I eat it. That's kind of what it is. As long as I can have the food and you don't actually tell me you can no longer have this.
Right.
That breaks my heart because there's such a permanence to that. But at least when I know you can't have this now, but you can have this tomorrow. You can have 2 of these tomorrow. You can have a whole plateful tomorrow. You can come back. You can get as much as you want, and it's going to be here for you tomorrow. And as long as I have that in my mind, I don't always do it. In fact, I don't do it a lot of times, but just so I have that sort of hope for the next day of like, okay, I'm going to open up my window and it's going to be awesome tomorrow. And then the next day I'm just like, meh, I'm good with graham crackers again. It's fine.
Intermittent fasting, or as we say, IF, so many people are doing it. I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast the other day, and Joe Rogan does it. He does intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the reasons is because it is kind of really easy to do. You set an alarm, the alarm goes off, it's like, okay, it's time to eat. And then and at the end of the day, now, I'm not going to say it's easy to start because it's not.
No, it's not.
It takes a lot of, you got to kind of start and then move in.
Yeah, and there are some side effects. It was a little weird when my period was off. It affected that, and it affected my energy throughout the day because as soon as when I started and whenever I would fall off the wagon and come back on, I would have to nap after eating lunch every day, and it was awful, and I hated it. And but once you get through that, and that's only a few weeks, I say that, and I'm going to go into why my week was kind of awful. But once you're doing it and it doesn't happen anymore, then you start to feel healthier. And the whole reason that I tried intermittent fasting, it wasn't necessarily for weight loss. It was for ADHD. And my focus when I'm not eating, because I'm not thinking about food and I'm not thinking about dieting, it's like, oh, it's not time to eat. Great. There's a thought that I don't have to have. My ADHD has been much better. Now, this week, the past 2 weeks have been quite weird. The last episode we did, I was talking about feeling sick. It turned into like a full-blown upper respiratory sinus thing, and I got an ear infection from it. So my left ear has been clogged. This is day 9. It's hell. It is just hell of having your ear clogged. And I went on Friday. I wouldn't have done this if my husband hadn't said anything. So that shows like I really do need self-care. My husband said to me, he's like, how's your ear? And I'm like, it's still clogged and I still feel miserable. And he's like, okay, well, what are you doing today? I'm like, I was going to go because I can't concentrate downstairs. I can't work. I'm just going to go out and I'm going to work somewhere. And he's like, why don't you go to the doctors? You're always talking about self-care and how you need more self-care. Isn't that self-care is going to... I'm like, yes.
So they put you on antibiotics.
They put me on antibiotics.
That you should have been on for a week.
That I should have been on. But once that was happening, my ear hasn't gotten better. I mean, it doesn't hurt as much. There's not as much pressure in it, but it's still clogged and it's still really annoying. So if you have ADHD, something like that, there is a constant voice in my head all the time it's going right now. Your ear is clogged. Your ear is still clogged. Hey, it's still clogged. Hey, we still can't hear anything out of this left ear. Do you think it's getting better? It's not getting better. It's been 9 days. Do you think it's going to be like this permanently? I understand why Van Gogh cut off his ear, but you can't cut off your ear because then your glasses won't stay up. Oh my gosh, your ear is still clogged. It's still clogged. We're still thinking about it. This is my head all the time for 9 days. It has been doing that. And then I found out antibiotics because I was just in this spiral of depression and irritability and anxiety, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I'm like, great, now I have seasonal affective disorder on top of it. It's starting early this year, and I'm so mad. Turns out antibiotics can exacerbate and even cause depression, anxiety, irritability, mood swings. Yeah, they can. It's not a side effect that they really put up there, but if you are already prone to it, I found out, it can exacerbate those.
Well, that explains a lot.
Right? Yeah, it really does. And on top of that, they also gave me Sudafed for a lot of the congestion and stuff. Sudafed is a stimulant. I used to take Sudafed in diet pills. I used to have Sudafed every single day in college for like 2 months, by the way. I'm not saying like I always did this, but Sudafed used to be in diet pills for a reason. And now you have to go to the pharmacy and sign out for Sudafed if you want to buy it over the counter. But the medicine they gave me was Sudafed, which stimulated that, which added to the anxiety, added to the ADHD. It's been so hard to concentrate. And I'm just like, this fucking ear, like so mad at my ear. And then I realized this morning, because I was looking it up, I'm like, this cannot be right. I don't feel normal. I'm not... like all those checklist of, are you in a depression? Like, I'm not interested in the same old things. I didn't really have an appetite. Weirdly, it was one of those, I have to eat. Nothing sounds good. Nothing tastes good. And it's just been this blah mood. And it's the antibiotics and all the stuff I'm on. So that's out of my system in another 10 days or so. So hopefully that'll bring everything back. But
So I'm prone to ear infections. So that's why I know with this and what I would get an ear infection. So I'm like, oh, here we go. And then at one time it got so bad so fast that I went to the doctors and they tried to look in. They said, we can't even see in your ear. It's closed. Mm-hmm. So they said, you need to go to the emergency room. So I went to the emergency room. It was killing me. So they gave me IV antibiotics in the hospital so it would get there faster. And because of the pain, they gave me morphine. That's how bad the pain was. Mm. So what they did is they stuck this little thing. It's like a wick, like a candle wick.
Yeah.
And they would feed it into the ear to get it to the other side so it would drain out. And then they sent me to an ear, nose, and throat person. I don't know what that doctor's called. I forget what they're called. An ear doctor. So I went to the ear doctor, and they go in there, and then they pull the wick out. And then they go in there with this little sucker machine. They go in there and they suck all that stuff out. So you might have to go to an ear doctor to get that stuff out.
Yeah.
Because it might not come out. And I'll tell you what, when they get in there, I mean, don't get me wrong. It doesn't hurt, but it's really uncomfortable. Like you're like, oh my God, don't suck out my eardrum. So after they get done, you feel so much better. So you might have to go to an ear doctor to get the rest of that stuff taken out, just so you know.
ENT, yeah.
ENT.
I went a lot as a kid, actually. I had ear tubes as a kid.
I was supposed to have them, and this is back in the 60s, but they at the last minute, for some reason, I stopped having ear infections. So, yeah, but both of my nephews have had them, and my brother-in-law's an ENT. Huh. So, yeah, really do take care of that. And so now this explains so much because with my legs and I had cellulitis and all, I've been on antibiotics for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, look it up. See what it is. Because I just got the regular Z-Pack and of those antibiotics. And I'm on a much stronger dose.
So, and it explains so much. And now I have to apologize publicly, Samantha.
Now you have to go on Twitter and say, yeah,
no,
sorry,
guys. Screw that kid. He deserved the tongue.
Okay, antibiotics.
Screw that kid. He deserved the tongue lashing. But I have to say, sorry, Samantha. I've probably been a jerk for the past week or so, and it's because of the antibiotics. Or
look it up.
Depression. The side effect of depression and anger. Here's a crazy thing. I'm just gonna tell this story because it explains so much. So I work with Sam and Lisa for I Shake My Head, and Samantha had to go to Toronto, so they couldn't record. They record in a car. I'll get to that later. So I had to record them here, but they were both on their phones, and they used their the earbud microphone, and that's what they used to record. And for some reason, it didn't sound good. They had to change in the middle of the show from the Wi-Fi to data, and it didn't sound good. It sounded a little muffled, but what are you going to do? So this was the best we could do. And Lisa said, "Well, it sounds like it's echoey," and that sent me into a rage. I was like, "Are you kidding me? You're both on your phones. You're both on data. You're in different places."
See? Yeah.
I was in a rage.
That's got to be antibiotics because I got mad. I got mad at my husband for complaining that his new chair was uncomfortable. And I was like, God fucking damn it, this new fucking chair that you had to go to IKEA on Monday afternoon and ruin my work schedule to get your fucking chair. And now you're going to tell me it's uncomfortable. And then yesterday he kind of came to me because I didn't yell at him for this. I internalized it. So he was just like, I'm just watching him talk about his fucking chair. And then I came to him this morning. I'm just like, so guess what I found out? He's like, what? That my chair is still on your list? I'm like, my antibiotics cause depression and anxiety and irritability and mood swings. And he's just like, oh. And then later in the car, he saw me just like, He's like, do you just feel calmer knowing that it was your medicine? And I'm like, yes, in fact, I feel this sense of relief of just like, this isn't permanent. This isn't how I'm going to be the whole time. I just got to get this out of my system. Yes.
I was furious. Yeah. And Sam was trying to talk me off the ledge, and she's apologizing because, she had to go for work and all. And it's not your fault. And I was just furious. Yeah. And I was raging. I was raging last night because the Nationals beat the Astros. I know. Raging. I'm like,
those aren't even your teams, John.
I don't even like baseball.
Yeah, last night I went to bed at 9:30 because I was like, the whole world is just pissing me off, and I went to bed.
Oh my God, that is see, this is why we have to have this show. This is why we need to talk to each other.
I know.
You are like my spirit animal. So here's whatever I'm going through. It seems like a couple 100 miles away, you're going through the same thing.
I know.
Because I feel like I'm going to come on here and you're going to be,
hello world, hear the song that we're singing. Come on, get happy.
And I'm on here going,
no.
That's crazy.
No, this has been a hell. Weirdly, the good thing about having this ear blocked is my son's whining. I only hear half of it. Because that, if anything, would cause my irritability more than that. It's like his whine. I love him, and it's never like, he's crying for no reason. It's just the actual sound of the whine. Like, stop. You sound like a goddamn velociraptor, and I cannot take it right now.
Wow. Well, look at that. I mean, first of all, thank you for finding that out. And second of all, I'm glad you're getting through this. I think that, for me, one of the things, like, you don't want to eat when you're depressed, and that's all I want to do.
See, that was never a thing. When you're kind of dieting and you don't think anything works, and it's because you haven't tried something long enough. Well, years ago, I would read, people get depressed and they lose their appetite, and I wouldn't understand it. I just could not wrap my head around losing your appetite when you're depressed or angry. No, because I was like you. I always wanted to eat. This time, it wasn't that I lost my appetite. I just lost, maybe this is losing your appetite. I don't know. I've been a fat person for so long. I don't know. Nothing sounded good. I was like, I should eat. Ugh, food sucks. All foods. I'm so bored of food. That was irritability right there.
Right. So, okay. So, yeah, that's kind of the same thing, right? I'm so bored of food. Nothing in this house.
I couldn't think of anything outside the house either.
Oh, no.
Yeah. If I could go to a restaurant, I would be fine. But just because I have a kid, that's not a thing that you do every day.
I don't. So,
yeah, you could go out and
Taco Bell creeped into my life. Kentucky Fried Chicken wings creeped back into my life. So, there was a pasta creep back into my life.
I do have to say, I did have McDonald's yesterday.
Yeah.
And I normally don't eat McDonald's too much. And I think it's because the one by me is not that great. But Fairfield, Connecticut, McDonald's, that's on point. I'm shouting them out. That was a delicious burger I had from the
Really?
Fairfield McDonald's. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you
They
something.
did a good job. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. Don't get a McRib. They suck.
Yeah.
They're horrible. I can't
No.
believe everybody's touting these things like they're this amazing sandwich. It's like just a bunch
It's
of. Ugh.
It's the scarcity thing. It's totally the scarcity
I
thing.
agree with you. I've had two because I thought maybe I got a bad one. Nope. Horrible.
Yeah.
I was even mad about the McRib.
See? Antibiotics, man.
It's crazy because I have been on them off and on for the past month and a half.
Yeah.
Remember when my foot swelled up? How long ago was that?
Yeah.
They put me on antibiotics for that. And then I had problems. I went to the emergency room. Oh, no, that was when I went to the emergency room. And then just this last time, they were looking at it and they said, you know what? We're going to put you on antibiotics. It looks like you have cellulitis, so we're going to put you on this. So, yeah, and I just finished them up. So maybe, just maybe, I'll be in a better mood and I won't be arguing with everybody.
I know. And then it takes a while to get them out of your system. So now with the Z packs that they give you for antibiotics, at least for something like an ear infection, they used to give you 10 doses and now they give you 5 and it works it like keeps working for days 6 through 10. And so I've never been on that. So I'm wondering if it's actually the concentration of antibiotics that
It might be. Yeah. And the
because I've
strength of
never
it.
gotten this mad before, and I've like trying to look at my schedule of like, no, it's not it's not hormones, it's not anything. There's not, yeah. And then finally, I looked it up. I was like, hey, does this have a side effect of this? And it's like not really on the big list of side effects. It's one of those things that it's like other people are talking about of just like, yeah, this does this, yeah.
That's amazing. Well,
So yeah,
look at
I'll try
us.
to find some resources and put the links in the show notes if anybody wants to check it out. And it was quite a thing. It's been quite a week. or
Yeah.
two.
So, well, and now look at me. I feel so much better. I do.
Right now that you know that it's like, oh, it's not me.
Right. And then, so now, if this continues a little bit, I'll be like, oh, okay, this is the side effect. This is why I feel this way. And I can live with it.
Right.
It's weird when you know why it's happening, that you can sit there and live with it. But if you don't know why it's happening, it consumes you.
It feels so permanent.
Right. Yeah,
like
exactly.
any depression is like, and you see those things because Instagram is like where I go for all my positive inspiration, motivation, and stuff. And even Instagram wasn't cheering me up. They're like, this feeling won't last. And I'm like, the hell it won't. It feels pretty goddamn permanent to me.
It's so funny that you get inspiration from Instagram and stuff like that. I mean, that's one of my favorite go-tos, Instagram.
Yeah.
And it's because there's nobody, I can't say there's nobody in there.
If you follow the right people, you have such a positive feed. Like my feed is wonderful.
Okay. That's probably it too. Yeah. Oh, a probiotic. You know, it's funny about the probiotic stuff. I'm not sure because sometimes I hear that they cause more problems than they're worth. I don't know that though.
Well, I know my mother-in-law, she has really gotten into the probiotics and I guess, getting the good bacteria into her stomach. And she says that has actually helped a lot of her health things
I think there's stuff you eat like, I don't know, there's food that you eat like kimchi or some kind of fermented something.
Yeah, kombucha. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, that kombucha stuff. You could have that kombucha stuff. I tried that.
I think it's good. I don't mind it. It's
Really?
I think you got to get a good flavor. Because I got one with a lot of ginger that when you have stuff with ginger, it kind of hides whatever gross flavor it is.
Okay. See, you got to mask the flavor. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, that's interesting. So, well, what do you think we should get into some Winning Wednesdays?
We should.
Winning Wednesday, Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday.
Alrighty.
Yeah. So the post I put up yesterday for Winning Wednesday, it does have a picture of me with my belt.
That's at least 12 inches. At least. I'm saying somewhere from 16 to 18 inches.
I don't think the first hole is all the way at the end, though. Like, I think there's like a few inches before the first hole that
all right,
I was
I
able
see
to
that.
get it. So I don't think I lost 12 inches, but I definitely lost about, it looks like 7 or 8.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I would say more. If it's not, I think I'm going 10 to 12.
Yeah.
So there's a winning Wednesday right there.
Yeah. And you could see that sweater. Like, I'm not giving up that sweater no matter how baggy it's starting to get.
I got to give you an Emily
Doo-doo.
for that one.
Yeah. So we have Ingrid. She's down 2.6 pounds and have not been grazing. So that's good.
Jess says, woo woo. Is that?
Yeah, I know. We're going to have to filter out like the congratulations posts.
Well, it's not underneath. That's why I wasn't sure if it was. I didn't want to not give somebody their due on a
Oh,
winning
okay.
Wednesday.
That's true. So
All right.
woohoo for everyone.
Yeah, so Brenda says, meal prepped on Sunday, down 1.4 pounds. Only ate one candy corn at a truck and treat last night.
See? Okay. And did you eat that candy corn like I do every year? I'm just like, oh, I wonder if I like candy corns this year. Nope. Still hate them.
Still sucks.
Still sucks.
Still the worst Halloween candy ever.
I don't know. Those candy corn pumpkins are pretty terrible. I think.
That's just
Yeah,
like a
right?
bigger candy corn.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they're worse.
Ugh.
Yeah. Andrea says she's trying out Noom. I like it so far. 5 days and I'm down a pound. Yay.
Brittany says, I finally got back on the weight loss wagon. Last week, I'm going on my 5th consecutive day for workout classes. Woke up today 2 pounds down from Monday at 28 pounds from my heaviest. That's great.
Wow. We have Teresa. Teresa posted twice. So first, she posted, I successfully pulled off my David Lee Roth costume on Saturday, and she posted a picture, which is amazing. And she also posted at the bottom, non-scale win. I just completed the annual Inktober challenge. Yeah, artists all over the world are challenged to post an ink drawing every day in October. I draw every day as it is, so my challenge was to create visual notes every day. It was tough, but really fun. I recommend this challenge to anyone who loves to draw and be part of a creative movement. Oh my goodness. And if you follow Teresa, and I love putting links to Teresa's stuff, so I will put those links in the show notes to Teresa's stuff. But if you follow her, her Inktober challenge was amazing.
And she does look like David Lee Roth.
She does. It's great.
So, where's my... There we go. Here we go. Victoria says, I've dropped just under 11 stones. I haven't been in the 10s for many years. I know other nationalities don't appreciate the stones thing. It's not that we don't appreciate it. We just don't understand it. It's like Celsius and Fahrenheit.
But this is like 14 pounds. Like a stone is 14 or 16 pounds, I
So,
think.
yeah, so that's
like, that's
140,
huge.
50, 150, almost 160 pounds. So that gets a double. And
Doo-doo.
so that is amazing.
Let me double check that. Yeah, a stone is 14 pounds. Yeah, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. To lose a stone, that seems like it takes forever. Like when we get a second number, that's 10 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And we get all excited about this. So I guess losing a stone is a lot.
Yeah, that's huge.
It is huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so thank you, everybody, for your Winning Wednesdays.
Yes. So you know what that means.
Oh, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for the moment you have all been waiting for. It's time for the weigh-in.
Let's see, it's episode 73, so I go first. I'm down 3 pounds.
That is great.
Yeah, even with all that. And that's over 2 weeks, everybody. So this isn't just a week. That included Shark Week, actually. We skipped last week, and that was Shark Week for me. And there was no way I was down anything last week. So this 3 pounds is just catching up from that.
Okay. And this week I'm down 6. Well, 6 from when we last weighed in. So what did I go up? Did I go up 8 or did I go up? What did I go up last time?
7.
I went up 7. So I'm still a pound above, but I'm down 6 of that. And that's over 2 weeks.
And that brings our grand total right now to
I need a drum roll.
Yeah, you do. To 120 pounds lost. Yay.
It's not a drum roll, but it'll do.
I like it. I like the victorious music.
Right.
You ever watch TV shows with subtitles on? That's kind of how we watch all of our TV shows now. It's kind of bad. But I love when they'll say something like if you're watching Parks and Recreation and you have the subtitles on, at the beginning music, it just says in parentheses, triumphant music plays.
Sometimes I do have it on. I forget what, I think my Netflix, and I don't know how to turn it off, so it's on there. And what I find out is I'm constantly reading.
Yeah.
So I don't like that.
Yeah. My mother-in-law is hard of hearing, and we all have the same Netflix account. So she just turns the captions on, and we used to turn them off. And then it got to the point where it's having kids and having noise in the background. And it's like, no, let's just keep these on because we can actually.
Yeah.
And now with my clogged ear, yeah, I'm constantly.
I don't know if I've ever told you this, but living through the 70s and 80s with loud rock music and working on a race car and working in the elevator business, that I have tinnitus, where you just have that constant ringing in your ears. And as a podcast editor, for me, it is a little bit of a problem because there's a certain spectrum of sound that I can't hear. Once it gets to a certain frequency, I can't hear it. So someone will say to me, "Do you hear that?" I'm like, "Nope." "You can't hear that." I'm like, "Nope, sorry, I can't." But I can hear words.
And also, as you age, do you remember, this was years ago, I don't know if they still make this, they used to make a ringer or a notification sound that only people under 25 could hear.
No, I don't remember. No, I don't.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. It was a frequency that so kids would have that as their ringer at school so that they could hear their phones going off, and most teachers couldn't. And I always wonder about that, that sort of frequency. And actually, usually when I take Sudafed and it's toward the end of the day when my ear is drained out a bit, I think I can hear high frequencies, which, God, I wish it were like the lower frequencies that it would let me hear. The high frequencies are the really annoying frequencies that you don't want to hear.
Yeah, I can't hear the high, and there's low ones I can't hear either. So there's a range that I can't. I remember going to a concert one time. Actually, it was Black Sabbath, and they did something, and the hearing in one of my ears just went. Like I didn't hear for 3 days, and it came back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've definitely got hearing damage. There's certain people that I have a hard time hearing their voice, the frequency of their voice. Like I say, "Can you speak louder? Can you?" I'm always, huh? And then I remember my ex-wife is one of them, and she would talk to me, and I was like, "Can't you talk louder?" And she goes, "I talk and everybody can hear me." And I'm like, "I cannot hear your voice. It's crazy." But yeah, that's a thing. It's actually a thing. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for listening to Hate to Wait. And if you'd like to join the group, we'd love to have you. We're around 250 members strong, and there's a lot of support. We don't tell you how to diet. If we're not going to tell you what to do. A lot of us do intermittent fasting, but other people do Weight Watchers and other stuff, and we're just here to support you in whatever you do. To do that, just go to hatetowait.com/Facebook. Come on in and join us. And then for the show notes and any of the links to anything we've talked about, go to hatetowait.com. Emily, let's not take 2 weeks to do this next episode.
No, next week we will be back. We will be back live Thursday mornings, 11 o'clock Eastern. If you would like to join us in the Hate to Wait discussion group, we'd love to have you in the chat room. We love our chat so much.
Absolutely. So everyone, till next week, take care.
Later, waiters.